I froze. My brother abandoned his twin daughters on my doorstep 7 years ago, leaving them in mismatched pajamas with a garbage bag full of dirty clothes and a text message that said, "Can't do this anymore." I was 28, single, working as a dental hygienist in Portland, living in a one-bedroom apartment that barely fit me and my cat. Now I had two 5-year-old girls staring up at me with identical brown eyes, asking where their daddy went. My brother Michael always had grand plans. Big dreams, zero follow-through. When his wife died in a car accident, he spiraled, started drinking, lost his job at the tech company. I watched him unravel for months, offering help he never accepted. Then one Tuesday morning, I opened my door to find Sophia and Lily shivering in the hallway. I called him 47 times that day, nothing. His phone went straight to voicemail by evening. I filed a police report, but they said unless there was immediate danger, they couldn't force him to come back. The girls were fed, clothed, and had a relative willing to care for them. Case closed. So I became a mother overnight. I moved to a 2-bedroom apartment I couldn't afford. Learned to braid hair through YouTube videos at midnight. Attended every parent-teacher conference, every school play, every soccer game. I maxed out 3 credit cards buying beds, clothes, school supplies, and birthday presents ×2. My dating life vanished. My savings account hit 0, then went negative. But the girls thrived. Sophia discovered she could paint, really paint. Her art teacher said she had a gift. Lily fell in love with computers, teaching herself to code by age 9. They called me Aunt Maya, and eventually, when they thought I wasn't listening, just Mom. Michael sent a birthday card once, 2 years after he left. No return address, no money, just thinking of you girls in handwriting I barely recognized. I burned it. By the time Sophia and Lily turned 12, we'd built a life. Not the life I planned, but a good one. I worked extra shifts at the dental office, picked up weekend work, cleaning houses. The girls never asked for much. They knew money was tight. On their 12th birthday, I scraped together enough for a small cake and one shared present, a used laptop they could both use. Lily's eyes lit up when she opened it. "This is perfect, Aunt Maya." "Thank you." That laptop changed everything. Lily started spending hours teaching herself advanced coding, Python, JavaScript, languages I didn't understand. Sophia designed graphics and user interfaces, her artistic eye making everything beautiful. They worked on projects together, staying up late, whispering about ideas I couldn't follow. At 14, they showed me their first app, a study tool that helped students organize homework and connect with tutors. They'd tested it with their classmates. Kids loved it. "We want to launch it properly," Lily said, her voice careful. "But we need like $200 for the developer account and server hosting." I didn't have $200. My car needed new brakes and rent was due in 3 days, but I looked at their hopeful faces and lied. "Let me see what I can do." I sold my mother's wedding ring, the only valuable thing I owned. Got $240 at the pawn shop. Handed them the cash and told them it was overtime money. They launched StudySync 3 weeks later. Within a month, 5,000 students had downloaded it. Within 3 months, 50,000. The girls were getting emails from schools wanting to implement it. Other students offering to pay for premium features. "Aunt Maya," Sophia said one night, her voice shaking. "We made $4,000 this month. $4,000. More than I made in 2 months of overtime." They were 15. By 16, StudySync had 500,000 users. The girls hired a business lawyer with their earnings, got proper contracts in place, registered an LLC. They brought in $22,000 in 1 month, then $38,000, then $61,000. I watched my teenage nieces become businesswomen while still doing geometry homework. At 17, a major education company offered to buy StudySync, $3.6 million. $3.6 million. The girls sat me down at our kitchen table, the same rickety table where we'd eaten dollar store pasta for years. Lily pulled out paperwork. Sophia held my hand. "We want to accept the offer," Lily said. "But we need your signature since we're minors. And we want to split it with you," Sophia added quickly. 50-50. You sacrificed everything for us. I couldn't breathe, couldn't speak. Just shook my head and started crying. They thought I was upset until I managed to say, "You don't owe me anything. This is your success. Your work. You gave us everything," Lily whispered. "You sold Grandma's ring for that laptop. Don't think we didn't figure that out." We cried together at that table. Then we signed the papers. 2 weeks later, the money hit their account. The girls immediately transferred half to me. $1.8 million appeared in my checking account on a Tuesday morning while I was scrubbing someone's teeth. I sat in my car during lunch break and sobbed. That night, we celebrated at a nice restaurant for the first time in our lives. Real celebration, not McDonald's. The girls ordered appetizers and dessert without checking prices. We laughed until our sides hurt. Then my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. "Maya?" A man's voice. Familiar and terrible. "Michael." I hadn't heard from him in 7 years. 7 years of silence. 7 years of absence. And now, 3 days after the news about StudySync's sale hit the local tech blogs, he was calling. "I need to see you," he said. Not hello, not how are you, not I'm sorry. "I need to see my daughters." "No. Maya, they're my kids. I have rights. You left them on my doorstep in their pajamas. You don't have rights." I was grieving. I was sick. I needed help, and you... I offered help. I begged you to get help. You disappeared. "I'm better now. I'm sober. I have a job. And I have a lawyer." My stomach dropped. "What?" "I'm filing for custody. My lawyer says I have a good case. Biological father, successfully rehabilitated, stable employment. Judges favor reunification." I looked at Sophia and Lily across the table, laughing at something on Lily's phone, completely unaware that their world was about to shatter again. "You can't do this." "I can and I am. You'll be served papers tomorrow. Tell the girls I love them and I'm coming home." He hung up. The papers arrived at 9 the next morning, delivered by a process server who looked apologetic as he handed me the thick envelope. Petition for custody modification. Michael Barrett versus Maya Chen, regarding minors Sophia and Lily Barrett. I read it 3 times before the words made sense. He was arguing that as their biological father, he had the right to parent his children, that his previous abandonment was due to untreated depression and alcohol abuse, both now resolved, that he'd been sober for 4 years, was employed full-time as an IT consultant, lived in a 3-bedroom house in Seattle, and could provide a stable home environment. There was no mention of the 7 years of silence. No mention of the birthday cards never sent, the child support never paid, the parent-teacher conferences never attended. Just clinical language about rehabilitation and second chances and the best interests of the children. At the bottom, his lawyer's contact information. Margaret Lynn, family law attorney. Her letter outlined their position. They weren't seeking immediate custody, just gradual reintroduction leading to a custody arrangement. Weekends at first, then longer visits, eventually 50-50 custody. And if I contested it, they'd argue for full custody. After all, I was just the aunt. He was the father. Biology trumped everything in court. I called every family lawyer in Portland. Heard the same thing from all of them. Fathers who successfully rehabilitate often win custody cases. Courts believe in reunification. Unless I could prove he was currently unfit or dangerous, I'd likely lose at least partial custody. I hired Rebecca Torres, the only lawyer who didn't sugarcoat it. "This is going to be hard," she said. "He has parental rights. You don't, legally speaking. You're the caretaker, not the guardian. Did you ever formalize custody?" I hadn't. I'd filed the police report 7 years ago and just kept caring for them. No court orders, no legal guardianship, nothing. "That's a problem," Rebecca said. "But we'll fight. Document everything. Get the girls' therapist to testify. Show the court what you've built together." I told Sophia and Lily that night. Watched their faces go pale, then angry, then scared. "He can't just come back," Sophia said. "He left us. He doesn't get to decide when he's ready to be a dad again." "I don't want to see him," Lily whispered. "I don't even remember him." "You might not have a choice, sweetie. The court could order visits." "Because of the money," Sophia said bitterly. "If we were still broke, he wouldn't care. But now we're worth something." I wanted to deny it, but she was right. 7 years of silence. Then 3 days after the sale, he calls. The math was obvious. The preliminary hearing was set for 6 weeks out. Michael's lawyer filed a motion for temporary visitation rights pending the full hearing. Rebecca fought it, but the judge granted supervised visits. 2 hours every Saturday at a family services center. I had to watch my girls walk into a visiting room with a stranger who shared their DNA. The first visit, they came out quiet. The second visit, Lily cried. The third visit, Sophia refused to talk to him at all. He kept asking about the app, Lily told me. About the money, about our plans, like he cared about StudySync but not us. He brought his girlfriend, Sophia added. Told us we'd love his house in Seattle, that there's a pool and we'd each get our own room. Like that matters. I documented everything, every complaint, every tear, every moment of distress. Rebecca said it helped but might not be enough. The full hearing was scheduled for a Tuesday in November. I took the day off work. Rebecca prepped us for 3 hours the night before. The girls would testify, but only if the judge allowed it. The girls were 17 now, old enough that their preference would be considered, but not old enough to decide on their own. He's going to look good on paper, Rebecca warned. 4 years sober, stable job, nice house, active in his church, character witnesses. The judge will want to believe in redemption. What do we have? I asked. The truth. 7 years of you showing up, 7 years of him not. And if we're lucky, the girl's testimony will matter more than his sob story. The courtroom was smaller than I expected. Michael sat at the other table with Margaret Lynn, wearing a suit I'd never seen him own. He looked healthy, clean, like a responsible adult who'd never abandoned his children in a hallway. The judge, Honorable Patricia Winters, reviewed the case file for what felt like an hour. Then she looked up. Mr. Barrett, you're seeking a modification of custody to include regular visitation and eventually joint custody, correct? Yes, Your Honor. His voice was steady, confident. Miss Chen, you're opposing this petition? Yes, Your Honor. My voice shook. I hated it. I've reviewed both submissions. Mr. Barrett, your rehabilitation is commendable. 4 years of sobriety, steady employment, stable housing. However, you also abandoned these children for 7 years without contact or financial support. That's significant. Michael's lawyer stood. Your Honor, my client was suffering from severe depression and substance abuse following his wife's tragic death. He recognizes that he failed his daughters during that time. But he's done the work. He's rebuilt his life specifically so he could be the father they deserve. 7 years late, Rebecca countered. 7 years of Miss Chen sacrificing everything while Mr. Barrett was absent. These girls don't know him. They don't trust him. Forcing visitation causes them significant distress, as documented in the reports from their therapist. Judge Winters nodded. I'd like to hear from the girls themselves. Are Sophia and Lily prepared to testify? Rebecca looked at me. I looked at the girls. They both nodded. Sophia went first, walked to the witness stand like she was walking to her execution. The bailiff swore her in. Margaret Lynn stood. Sophia, do you remember your father? Barely. Do you remember your mother? Yes. Sophia's voice cracked. That must have been very difficult. Your father was grieving too, wasn't he? I guess. He made mistakes during that grief, but he's better now. Don't you think people deserve second chances? Sophia looked straight at Michael. People who ask for second chances, maybe. People who disappear for 7 years and only come back when their kids are rich? No. The courtroom went silent. Margaret tried again. Your father is sober now. He has a good job. He wants to be part of your life. He wants to be part of our money. Objection, Margaret said. Speculation. Sustained, Judge Winters said. But she was looking at Michael with new interest. Rebecca stood for cross-examination. Sophia, in the past 7 years, how many birthday cards did your father send? 1, when we were 7. No return address. How many phone calls? 1. 3 days after the news about StudySync came out. How much child support has he paid? Nothing. And who took care of you during those 7 years? Sophia looked at me, tears streaming down her face. Aunt Maya. She gave up everything. Her apartment, her savings, her whole life. She worked 2 jobs so we could have dance lessons and soccer and everything we needed. She sat up with us when we had nightmares about Mom. She helped us with homework. She taught us to ride bikes and braid hair and be strong. She's not our aunt, she's our mom. I was crying. Rebecca was nodding. Even the bailiff looked moved. Lily testified next. Quieter than Sophia, but just as firm. She told the judge about the laptop, about how I'd sold my mother's ring without telling them, about the nights I worked late so they could have what they needed. Then Margaret asked her about Michael, about his house with the pool, about his girlfriend who seemed nice, about whether she thought people could change. Maybe, Lily said, but I don't care if he changed. He wasn't there when we needed him. Aunt Maya was. That's what matters. Then it was Michael's turn to testify. He talked about his grief, his addiction, his recovery. He cried, apologized, said he thought about the girls every day but was too ashamed to reach out. I'm not proud of what I did, he said, but I'm sober now. I have my life together. I want to make this right. Rebecca stood. Mr. Barrett, when did you become sober? 4 years ago, May 15th, 2022. And when did you first contact Miss Chen about the girls? He hesitated. Last month. So you were sober for over 3 years before reaching out? I was building stability first. Building stability. I see. And when did StudySync's sale become public news? I don't know the exact date. Rebecca pulled out a printout. October 8th, 2026. 3 days before you called Miss Chen. Coincidence? I'd been planning to reach out. For 3 years while you were sober and stable, you never called, never sent money, never sent a letter. But 3 days after your daughters became millionaires, you hired a lawyer. Is that correct? Michael's lawyer objected. Judge Winters sustained it, but the point was made. The hearing continued for 2 more hours. Character witnesses for Michael testified about his sobriety, his church involvement, his steady job. Rebecca countered with the girls' therapist, who testified that forced visitation was causing them anxiety and trauma. Then the judge called a recess, said she needed time to review everything and would issue a ruling in 2 weeks. 2 weeks of waiting. 2 weeks of the girls asking what would happen. 2 weeks of me pretending I wasn't terrified. The ruling came via email. I read it standing in my kitchen, hands shaking. Judge Winters acknowledged Michael's rehabilitation but noted the significant period of abandonment and the girls' strong preference to remain with me. She denied his petition for custody modification, citing the girls' age they'd be 18 in less than a year and could make their own decisions then and the stability I'd provided. However, she offered Michael the option to continue supervised visits if the girls consented. She also ordered him to pay 7 years of back child support, approximately $98,000. We won. I called the girls into the kitchen and told them. Sophia screamed. Lily started crying. We hugged and jumped and laughed until we couldn't breathe. Then my phone rang. Rebecca. Maya, we have a problem. My stomach dropped. What? Michael's filing an appeal, and his lawyer just submitted new evidence. A recording. What kind of recording? Of you. From 7 years ago. The night he dropped the girls off. I went cold. I remembered that night. Remembered screaming at him over the phone after he finally answered. Remembered saying things I regretted. They're arguing you coerced him into leaving the girls with you. That you threatened him. Used his vulnerability against him. That's not what happened. I was trying to get him to come back. I know. But the recording is edited. Selective. It makes you sound manipulative. We need to fight this. The appeal hearing was scheduled for 3 weeks later. Michael's lawyer played the recording. My voice, harsh and angry, telling Michael he was a terrible father, telling him to stay away if he couldn't handle being a parent, telling him the girls were better off without him. All true things I'd said in a moment of fury, all taken out of context. Margaret Lynn painted me as someone who'd alienated the girls from their father, who'd used his moment of weakness to take his children and turn them against him. I sat there feeling sick. Rebecca objected, argued, presented our own evidence, but I could see the judge's expression shifting. Then Lily stood up. Your Honor, I have something to say. Judge Winters looked surprised. This isn't your testimony time, Lily. I know, but I need to say this now. The judge hesitated, then nodded. Go ahead. Lily pulled out her phone. My father said Aunt Maya turned us against him. That we don't remember how things really were. But we do remember. And we have proof. She handed her phone to the bailiff, who gave it to the judge. What is this? Judge Winters asked. Ring camera footage, Lily said. From the neighbor across the hall from Aunt Maya's old apartment. The neighbor gave us access when we told her what was happening. It's from the morning our father left us. The judge played the video on the courtroom monitor. There we were, 7 years ago. 2 little girls in mismatched pajamas, holding a garbage bag, standing in an apartment hallway. Then Michael appeared, looking disheveled and drunk. He knocked on my door. No answer, I was at work. He paced for a minute, then knelt down to Sophia and Lily's level. The audio was faint, but clear enough. Daddy has to go away for a while, he said. But Aunt Maya will take care of you. She's good at that stuff. Better than me. When are you coming back? Lily's tiny voice. Soon, baby. Real soon. Then he walked away, left them standing there. They knocked on my door for 5 minutes before I got home. The courtroom was silent. Lily continued. He didn't leave us because Aunt Maya threatened him. He left us because he wanted to. And he told us he'd come back soon. That was 7 years ago. Judge Winters watched the video again. Then she looked at Michael. Mr. Barrett, you testified that you were coerced into leaving your daughters. This video suggests otherwise. Michael stammered. I was drunk. I wasn't thinking clearly. Maya's phone call earlier that week occurred after this incident? Rebecca interjected. Michael looked trapped. I don't remember the exact timeline, but I did. And the phone records Rebecca subpoenaed confirmed it. The call where I'd yelled at Michael happened 3 days after he left the girls, after I'd been trying to reach him for 72 hours. After I'd filed the police report. The recording his lawyer submitted wasn't coercion. It was me responding to abandonment. Judge Winters denied the appeal, upheld her original ruling, and she added something new, a restraining order preventing Michael from contacting the girls directly unless they initiated it. These young women are nearly adults, she said. They've made their wishes clear. Mr. Barrett, you have a lot to atone for. Perhaps when they're ready, they'll reach out. But that decision is theirs to make. Michael left the courtroom looking defeated. I felt something almost like pity. Almost. Then I looked at Sophia and Lily, holding hands and smiling, and the pity disappeared. We walked out of that courthouse free. 2 months later, Michael's bill for back child support arrived. $98,000. He paid it in installments over 6 months. The girls wanted to donate it all to foster care charities. We did. Sophia's at art school now. Full scholarship, but she could have paid. She's doing incredible work. Already sold 3 pieces for real money. Lily's studying computer science at MIT, teaching herself AI programming. Already fielding job offers from companies that don't know she's still a freshman. And me? I quit the dental office, used some of the money the girls insisted I keep to go back to school. I'm studying social work. Want to help other families like ours. Other kids who need someone to show up. We still live together when the girls are home on break. Still eat dinner at that rickety kitchen table. Still laugh until our sides hurt. Last week, Sophia asked if we should replace the table, buy something nicer. I said no. Some things are worth keeping exactly as they are. My phone buzzes sometimes. Unknown numbers. I never answer. If it's important, they'll leave a message. Michael never does.